When it comes to planning a retreat, there's ways to get it to go from average to incredibly transformative. Welcome to Retreat Boss, where we speak about inspired travel for fun, transformation, and profit. Guest experts will give you their tips and tricks on creating the most impactful retreats, both for you and your clients. Whether you want a meditative getaway, a wellness trip, or a business escapade, we provide you with the best advice in organizing and hosting a tremendous event. Join Catherine Kontos as she talks with fellow experts about creating exclusive and successful retreats. Dive deep into the most unique activities, the best destinations to visit, and the most uplifting trips out there that you can discover. Here is your host, Catherine Kontos. We are here today. Retreat Boss has returned the podcast after a few months of just holding back. We are back with an incredible guest, Skyler Mason from SKYIN, a provider of life-changing experiences for immersive and luxury travelers, while he supports local communities and villages with enhancing sustainability. Welcome, Skyler.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so happy to have you as my first guest back after a bit. It's been since I think December was the last show after 29 episodes. So you're number 30. So congratulations on that.
Awesome.
Thank you for being here today. We connected on LinkedIn. That's how we found each other.
Yes,
and I just love what you do. I love what your company represents and the whole sustainability aspect of it. It's very important to me. It's part of our values at Retreat Boss. And just the experiences that you are creating are incredible. So thank you for creating this purpose in your life where you're transforming people's lives. I really appreciate it. Where did all this start? Who is Skyler Mason? What made you do this? Who are you? People want to know. I'm sure.
That's a great question. A question I get all the time, Catherine. Well, let's just start with the story of where this all came from. Ever since I was 2 years old, and I'm telling you, Catherine, to this day, my parents still have no idea where this came from because they've never been anywhere in Africa before. They said I was so captivated and fascinated in African culture. They said as a toddler, in my diapers, I used to run around the house, drumming, dancing, singing, believing I was part of this tribe. And growing up at my early ages, my dream was to go to Africa, but not necessarily for all the wildlife and the animals like most people want to go and see, but to really immerse myself with the culture, the indigenous, the tribes, etc. And, most children in the US, especially, they want to go to Disney World, get toys for their birthday. My dream every single year, begging my parents, was to take me to Africa. Well, at the age of 14, I had some family friends who were from Kenya who invited me to come stay with them and their family for an entire summer. And as you can only imagine, my dream is finally coming to life. And I'm able to go to a part of the world and stay with local families, immerse myself into local communities and the surrounding villages, travel across Kenya with the local guidance by my side every step of the way. I was able to experience like any tourist could ever imagine, a real life experience, not one that just sees all the tourist attractions like everybody else, but to really immerse and connect and build these real relationships with communities that obviously I don't look like them, I don't sound like them, but they make me feel like, and they treat me like I am one of them. And my first time I touched down in Kenya, I truly fell in love and started going back to Kenya ever since, building such extensive relationships throughout the country. Well, about 6 years ago, so to start off, I actually grew up in a family business. It's a smoked salmon manufacturer based here in Denver, Colorado. We service all the US. It's a big company. My father founded it in our garage about 35 years ago. Grew up with the family business, went to a prestigious business school, San Diego State University for business. After college, I started running the company with my father. Following my dad's footsteps was kind of like what my calling was all about.
Right.
But that's not where my heart and my soul was. And I knew right then and there, this was 6 years ago, that I was done being the next Kevin Mason. I wanted to be the first Skyler Mason. Sorry, I get really touchy. And I said, I told my family, I told my father, I said, I'm done with this. He was at a part of his life where he wanted to retire and he wanted to move on. And I said, I just did not want to follow his footsteps. I wanted to create my own, because what I saw from him is the fulfillment of creating something, literally like a child, and growing it and building it and making a big difference for other people by creating jobs and opportunities. And so at that part of my life, I knew I had to escape, but I didn't know what my next steps was in life. So I did what most people do. And I went on a soul searching adventure, and I went back home to Kenya, and I spent a summer there to figure out what my next steps in life was, not realizing this would all come about of what SKYIN is today.
I just want to point something out that you said, and you said it naturally. I went back home to Kenya. That's very telling where your
Yeah.
heart is. Interesting. Okay, go on.
And that's what it is. I mean, Kenya is just as a home to me as here in the States. And while I was down there, something hit me harder than ever. These communities, these people, these villages, these families that I call my own are suffering from lack of jobs, lack of resources, lack of opportunities. And I knew right then and there, I don't have the funds or the resources just to give out stuff, but I have that business mindset and the set of skills I've acquired from my father and running the family business and my education to be able to create something and create that impact that I've always dreamed of wanting to do. Again, did not know it was going to come from Kenya, but I realized that there's a reason my calling has been and my passion has been all around Africa. And so then right then and there, I said, you know what? I'm going to create something. I didn't know what to do. Do I build something? Do I manufacture something? Do I resource something? What do I do to create a lot of jobs and sustainable impact for these communities? And then I came to realize tourism. Tourism runs the country, especially in Kenya. But what tourism currently does is it bypasses the communities and it makes the lodges, the national parks richer and richer. What I said right then and there, and this, like I said, was about 5.5 years ago, I said, I want to make change. I want to be the change of how local communities are impacted by tourism. And what I knew right then and there is I can duplicate the same immersive, authentic, intimate, transformative experiences I had of growing up in Kenya and really immersing myself into these communities and provide those same experiences to travelers, but to see it more in a local's perspective and do it in a way that's going to create that sustainable impact by creating lots of jobs, lots of opportunities, lots of resources to help improve daily life for its people, its culture, its communities, and really make that impact that I've always dreamed about. So that's where SKYIN came. I never knew that, if you asked me 10 years ago where I would be today, I never knew that my passion, my heart, my ability to go to a part of the world and say that I'm a part of multiple tribes, to be a part of these communities, and to now be able to take travelers and immerse them. And please don't get me right. It's not just about going to Kenya and experiencing just the culture and just the tribes. It's about getting an overall vision of what Kenya has to offer, from its wildlife to its beaches, to its rich and ancient history, and then, of course, the culture. So that's why here at SKYIN, I designed our company to offer the most immersive and authentic excursions, both affording luxury and authenticity, and creating these excursions that allows travelers to see all the different nuances of what makes up Kenya and how special and magical it really is.
That sounds beautiful. What is a day like at one of your excursions, retreats? Because you do also collaborate with wellness retreats and
Absolutely.
corporations and all of that, right?
Yep.
So give me a day in the day with SKYIN and Skyler Mason. What happens?
Well, it's kind of hard to really dive into one day because I could just say one day we're on a safari. The next day, we're engaging at a local school or children's orphanage. The following day, we're at a Maasai village deep in the remote, 100% exclusive to SKYIN only, and immerse yourself for a full day with our tribe. There's all different components. But to start out, what's really cool about this experience is that we connect all our travelers directly with highly vetted local host families. Okay. Now, not only do travelers have the opportunity to come to Kenya and stay with a host family in their suburban homestay in Nairobi for part of their excursion, but as we take them across the country, our local team guides all our travelers, our guests, our coaches, everything, and takes them across the country to be there for their insights and tips, for their personal resources, but most importantly, assuring their safety and security. And what's really cool about this concept is that, Catherine, you and I can see each other. We can feel our energy. We can see how we look. Same concept when it comes to our host families. We connect our travelers to their host families ahead of time through video chats.
Oh, nice.
Opportunity to build that relationship, be able to build that trust, build that confidence, get to hear, listen, spend time with their families through series of video chats leading up to the trip. So once they touch down in Kenya, when they walk outside those airport doors, they're not looking for some random guy with some sign to take you to your hotel and lodge. They're looking for their host families with familiar faces, the biggest warm, welcoming hugs and smiles. It allows travelers to feel like they belong and allows them to feel like they're accepted and they're coming home.
So how does that work when it's a group?
Absolutely. So we have a variety of different host families. And keep in mind, all our host families are highly vetted. They speak fluent English. They go through high amounts of internal comprehensive training. And they're also background and screened through the government each and every year. Now, for example, let's say we have a group of anywhere from 10 to 16 travelers. The group, their day-to-day experiences will be traveling with the group together. But then for the period in Nairobi, when they stay with the host family, they're going to go to their representative host family for dinner and overnight stay. So just like a hotel room or let's say a resort. People travel together. They'll be able to go at the end of the day to their own separate rooms for overnight stay and then start again up to the next day. Same thing with our host families. We have families in pockets of communities all within Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya. Mm-hmm. So you would travel together, experience everything together throughout each and every day. But then for those nights that you stay at the homestay, you have the opportunity to then go to your representative host family, usually about 2 to 3 people per family, have dinner and overnight stay, and then start the adventures the next day. Please keep in mind, for let's just say one of our most popular 14-day itineraries, only 4 nights is at the homestay. Okay. So it's not like the entire excursion you're with the host family. You're there for about 4 nights, and then you go to another part of the entire country, from the beachfront resorts on the coast of the Indian Ocean to elegant safari camps and lodges inside the national parks. And if we get travelers, because we get about 10% of our business that, wow, the itineraries are so each and every day provides new activities, new experiences, new emotions. But I just am not suited to stay with a host family overnight at their suburban homestay, then no problem. We can opt out and host them at private hotels nearby. But all our homestays are fully equipped with the same amenities that we're used to: private and comfortable bathrooms and bedrooms, accessible Wi-Fi, electricity, full bathrooms such as hot water showers, toilets, etc.
Sounds like the people are getting the best of many worlds, not both worlds, but many worlds. So they get to experience the retreat aspect of it, where they're together there as a group and experience all of what you're having to offer and their own program. Plus they could have the choice of being in this intimate setting, something, and they're experiencing something that they wouldn't really get very easily any other way. And I find that very, because it's also a great time to process everything you're going through when you're alone, right? When you're with a group, you're doing one thing, but then you need that time to process alone. That's amazing. I think you have a video to show.
I do, absolutely.
Let's see if we can get it to work.
Awesome. So we do have, just so everybody knows, we have a whole website. We have so many different videos and all that. This is one of our main staple videos, just to give you an overall broad statement of what this excursion really does look like. Okay. Give me 1 second. All right. Can you see that okay?
It's time to experience Africa in a whole new way. Anyone can travel like a tourist, but with SKYIN, you become a local. SKYIN helps you experience travel in a unique, authentic way by not just seeing the culture, but living it. With SKYIN, we connect you to our local host families long before your trip even begins. After months of breaking the ice, meeting your family for the first time feels just like coming home. Gather around the family table and experience what true African home cooking is all about. Venture off throughout Nairobi and really see where the locals go. Step outside your comfort zone and immerse yourself in unique adventures you won't and can't have anywhere else. Don't just see a village, but live in one of ours for a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Dip your feet into the beautiful sandy beaches of Mombasa. Get up close and personal with nature. Go on a safari and see animals in their own natural habitat. See firsthand the vibrancy of the Maasai and their unique way of life. Sleep under the stars while nature thrives all around you. Travel is best when you are doing it with family. SKYIN connects you with our open and loving families who will be there by your side to ensure your trip is one you won't forget. Once you are ready to live like a local, just SKYIN, Kenya.
And there we go. And one thing
Amazing.
I like to, if you guys can see in the video, is that, as I mentioned, each and every day offers a new experience and new activity. So you're not, when we talk about homestays, you're not in the homes during the day. And, you know, when people are in a farm and they're stuck at a home for 3-4 days, it gets repetitive. It's kind of redundant. You're doing the same thing. Every single day is a new experience, from immersing with indigenous tribal villages. So there's 2 separate tribes. One is the Maasai, well-known Maasai. They're the ones that dress up in red, jump up and down, as well as the Mijikenda tribe. These are 2 tribes, these villages that I grew up in, that I have the opportunity to take travelers there and offer full days immersive experiences, where they're going to meet and engage with the chiefsmen of the tribe, of the community. They're going to storytell with the tribal elders inside their huts, learn the roles of all the women and the warriors from the roots of it all. It is to give our travelers such a deep exploration of who they are, their culture, their traditions, and rituals from the roots of it all. And we just got awarded through the Kenya Tourism Board Signature Experience Collection, rolling out in 2023, for our Maasai village experience, to show and define authenticity, transformational, as well as sustainability. Some more, go ahead.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a big award. And like I said, it's really cool to see that a company like us gets an award through the Kenya Tourism Board for offering an experience that the Maasai has been there for decades, centuries, right? But to offer that more non-commercialized experience. If you look at other safari companies, what they really offer, especially with the tribes, is the commercialized village. What that really looks like is you show up, you have a park here sign, you pay as you get in, you sit on a bench, and you watch performers perform for an hour. At ours, it's 100% exclusive, and you're going to share meals with the villagers. You're going to learn how they make their jewelry, to their homes, to go to their watering hole, to go to local schools and learn about the education for the tribes. Like I said, it's to give our travelers such a deep exploration of who they are, but in return, it creates a sustainable impact. It creates jobs, it creates resources that they don't have elsewhere. So by me engaging travelers and bringing them to these communities, it's creating such a sustainable impact for them.
Beautifully done, Skyler. I have a question. So someone comes to you and says, I'm a retreat leader. I have a wellness program that I want to immerse my clients in, my guests in.
Yep.
How do you take their program? So how would the process go? How would you take their program and include it, immerse it into what your program is together to really create a phenomenal experience? Where, you know, there's what you're offering, but it's also what the leader wants also as part of the program. How would that work?
Yeah. So how it works is I am very active. You know, we have, just so everybody knows, we have a team and office based here in Denver, Colorado. That's our tour operator. That's all logistics, payment, communication, arrangements. Everything is based here in the US. And then while you're over in Kenya running our excursions, our local team is traveling with you by your side every step of the way. Now, how it works, because we do wellness retreats, been doing this for years now, is that I get with the curator, the wellness coach, whoever that may be. And I want to sit with them and really understand what they're looking to get out of their excursion. I would first pitch them all the different experiences, as I mentioned, from immersing with the tribal villages, to staying in homestays, to engaging at local schools and children's homes, to going to the coast. Everybody knows the beaches, white sand, crystal blue water beaches, spend some beautiful, relaxing time at beautiful luxury beachfront resorts, but also put them on very authentic sailing voyages on those traditional dhow boats, going on a safari, immersing into wildlife sanctuaries. So really dive into the experience that we offer. As I mentioned, learn about what the coach is looking for, okay? To know, okay, do they have to set aside, I had done a wellness trip before where they had to set aside an hour every single morning for the coach to be able to have these lessons, to evaluate, to be able to reflect on the day before. So just depending on what like I said, what the coach is looking for, or the wellness curator, everything is designed specifically for them. It's all customizable. Every group, every excursion is totally, completely different. We do have some of our standardized itineraries, but being able to blend what we have done in the past to currently what they're looking for. A big thing is that personalization of being able to understand, and for me to be able to reflect and dive deeper into what the experience is, and then how we can combine the two, how being able to coach their clients while also providing these experiences.
Do they show, when you go into the tribes, do they show like medicinal tricks that they have, or things, recipes? Do they show any of that?
Yeah. I mean, one of their tribes, the Mijikenda tribe, they're very well known for herbal life and agriculture, and they don't believe in hospitals. They believe in that. So you get to learn all the different remedies, all the traditions, the rituals. When it comes to the Maasai, they're known for like their livestock and the herding and all that. And so it's just 2 completely different experiences. And just imagine going to a part of the world that is so different than our own, but being able to really feel like you belong. I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds so far-fetched out there, but the people they love and care about guests coming in, and that's what they do it for, is being able to connect and show them what their life is all about. So, and that's the perspective of we like to say the wellness, the transformational. Our tagline is travels that touch the soul, because every single experience, from the tribes to the schools to the wildlife sanctuaries, everything, the homestays, is to provide travelers a more deeper understanding and to get that new kind of life perspective that we like to say is very transformative.
Tell me, because we have to wrap up in the next few minutes. I want to know, what are the requirements for people coming into Kenya?
In regards to
medical requirements, vaccines, visas, anything.
That's one of the best part about Kenya is no vaccinations are required. Obviously, even with COVID vaccination, we do highly recommend people being vaccinated. It helps because you don't have to get any PCR COVID testing done prior or after. But no vaccinations, they do recommend a few: yellow fever, typhoid, etc. But nothing's required in order to enter. You do have to get a visa. It's super simple. You do it online. My team, because we take care of everything for our clients. From touchdown in Kenya to takeoff, we include everything: private transportation, all the different accommodations, meals, experiences, safaris, everything is touch point. The only thing we do not take care of ourselves is just the pre-travel, such as arranging international airfare, etc. But that's another benefit of working with us, is that we literally take care of everything from touchdown to takeoff. It's all inclusive.
And what would be your recommended time frame? Is it a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, 5 days? What is it? Someone from, let's say, the Americas.
Yeah. I would never suggest anything less, and this is bare minimum, 7 days. Our 10 plus days, 10 to 14 days is our best selling. Why? Because we're going to be taking you all across the country, from the beaches to the cities, to the towns, to the villages, to the national parks and reserves. You're going to be going all around, and we make sure my company, we carefully curate every excursion to make sure everything from the logistics to traveling to transportation is all seamlessly, but also not feeling like it's rushed, if that makes sense. We care about the experience. We're not in it. Obviously, I created my company not to be able to in it for the money. I do it because I want to create that experience for other travelers. And so 10 to 14 days is usually our average of our best-selling excursions.
Beautiful. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find us online. Our website is liveskyin.com. That's LIV as in Victor, SKYIN as in November.com. My company name is called SKYIN. Real quick, I know SKYIN, Skyler has some resemblance, but SKYIN actually is a verb, to sky in. Just like you say to dive in. For example, when you dive into a pool, you're breaking that conventional surface of the water barrier and you're diving deep under. To sky into Kenya, you are breaking that conventional surface of a typical tourist and you're diving deep into the roots of what makes Kenya so spectacular and so magical, by really getting such a deep exploration of everything, not just the culture, not just the wildlife, not just the beaches, not just the history, not just the luxury beachfront resorts and elegant safari camps and homestays. You get it all in our carefully curated immersive excursions.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I think people probably did not know that there's such an all-inclusive experience like this. I think you've touched base on everything from like living in the homes of the locals to experiencing the tribes to safaris to all of it. And if they can take their program and like just mesh it into yours, absolutely, I think they will create an experience like no other for their clients. So thank you for doing this. Thank you.
My pleasure.
I'm glad you didn't follow your father's footsteps.
Absolutely. I never looked back ever since. But one thing I like to mention is that, yes, we specialize in immersive Kenyan excursions, but note that it's an authentic blend of both authenticity and luxury. If you have clients that want full luxury, no problem whatsoever. We can opt out of that homestay part of the trip and opt them into private hotels. So every single accommodation will be a private, because I know, especially with some retreats, people want that immersive experiences, but they want to go to their private accommodations at the end of the night as well. So we can mix match whatever that looks like. Everything's customizable. My local team here in the US, as well as in Kenya, is with you every step of the way. And we make sure we take the pride and joy to take time and really get to know the coach, their offerings, what they're looking to get out of their excursions, and then how as you mentioned, how our excursions can mesh with what they're looking for.
As it should be done. That's what I teach in my Retreat Boss courses is, to how do you enhance your program with the retreat experience, right?
And it's all about that. And it's all about education. So please note, guys, that I put on these incredible presentations. I walk people through the story, the experiences, so many marketing videos. So it's not just about us being the supplier and you sell it to your clients. We work with you to sell this. We provide you marketing assets such as marketing videos and photos. We have a beautifully designed, customizable adventure guide that walks you through the company, the accommodations, our private vehicles, FAQs, and we'll put whatever itinerary that we curate with you into that adventure guide. So now you have this adventure guide with all your information, the pricing, the details, everything, and you can send that directly to the client. Because I know there's a lot of wellness coaches, retreats agents that don't have the marketing assets, don't have the budget to do that. So another benefit of working with us is we provide that for you. For
amazing
videos, guides, all that. We work with you. And then I'm also available to host presentations, to host webinars. Again, I built this off my experience growing up, and I have nothing more that passionate to sell what I do. And so at any time a coach wants to put together an itinerary and then go pitch it to the world and put on, and we can co-host presentations together. That's what I love to do, because it's about the educational factor that leads to conversion.
I love it. It's like a turnkey experience for them. So it's perfect, because marketing is one of the pain points of retreat leaders, right? They have a hard time putting it all together and where and what and the cost and all that. And you do it all for them.
You do it all. Everything for them.
Skyler, thank you so much for being here and informing us of what your services offer and what you do. I think it's a valuable service that you offer. Like I said, I'm so glad that you are doing this, because so many people can tap into this and create an experience for their guests like no other. So thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure. And SKYIN, if there's one word I describe SKYIN, it's opportunity. It gives travelers these life-changing, immersive, such an enriching experience, while in return, you're making a sustainable impact for the communities that you're engaging with. So thank you again for having me, Catherine.
Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of the week. And this podcast will actually be live and everywhere in about 3 weeks. So the people on our Facebook group got to see it first in Boss Up with Retreats. Thank you for being here and watching it. And if anybody is looking for any courses on retreat planning or is looking to plan a retreat, please visit retreatboss.com. And if you're looking for that Kenyan experience, they go to
SKYIN. Here to help and assist any way we can, guys.
Thank you, Skyler.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Retreat Boss podcast. When it comes to achieving wellness and transformation, nothing is more effective and profound than a well-orchestrated retreat. Achieve huge revenue growth, one trip at a time. Want to learn more on expanding your business with retreats? Visit retreatboss.com, when profitable retreats are made easy. Be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the show at retreatboss.com/podcast. Until next time, take care.